for Fort Wayne Community Schools. Tonight's meeting is going to be held virtually and will be open to the public at Comcast Cable Channel 54 and Frontier 24. Streamed live on the FWCS Facebook page and the LTV 2454 FWCS YouTube channel. Questions regarding any of the agenda items can be directed to the superintendent's office at 467-2025. Questions regarding any of the agenda items can be directed, to the superintendent's office. So as we do each meeting, we start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, you guys. I love that you guys stood at home even. I feel bad now. I'm sorry, America. Okay. Now we have a roll call of members. And I guess we'll go in the order that we would if we were sitting in person.
Good evening, Steve Corona, representing the 5th District.
Waynegale, 2nd District.
Ann Duff, member at large.
Raleigh Booker, 4th District.
And I'm Maria Norman, member at large, and we do have Angie Filler, clerk of the board, with us. And we have Superintendent Dr. Mark Daniel with us this evening. Okay. So we have no awards and recognition this evening. So we'll start off the agenda this evening with the consent agenda, which consists of approval of minutes from the regular board meeting that was held on November 9th, vouchers and payroll approval, and the personnel report. And board members have seen these things in their board notes, and if members of the public need to see them, we have them on file for 8 years, something like that. So do we have a motion and a second?
Madam Chair, I would move approval of the items listed under the consent agenda, that being the minutes from our November 9th meeting, vouchers and payroll data from the period ending November 23rd, vouchers and the payroll for the period ending November the 6th, and then the personnel report.
Thanks, Steve.
Second.
Thanks, Ann. All right. Any questions? Dr. Daniel, was there anything on the personnel report? Okay. Any other board members have questions? All right. And due to the nature of our meeting being virtual, Ann Duff, the secretary of the board, is going to do a roll call of ayes and nays. So, Ann?
Steve?
Aye.
Glenna?
Aye.
Raleigh?
Aye.
Aye for me, Maria.
Aye. All right. So that was ayes for the approval of the consent agenda. So, we have no old business this evening, so that moves us right into new business. And so I have this evening a group health plan renewal. So it's recommended that the board renew the administration contract with Anthem Blue Cross and Blue Shield effective January 1, 2021 through December 31st, 2022, and the reinsurance contract through December 31st of 2021. Anthem acts as a third-party administrator for the FWCS group health plan, providing employees with access to broad-based PPO providers and network discounts. In addition, they manage claims, processing services, and all aspects of the provider network, perform utilization and medical management functions, and provide enrollment support and customer service for our employees. The administrative fees for medical, dental, and vision are decreasing by 13.8%, or about $253,000. Reinsurance premiums are increasing 17.4%, or about $488,000. Administration fees and reinsurance premiums are about $4,860,000, or approximately 9% of the total expected cost of the health plan, which in total is about $54 million. This supports FWCS District Goal 3, operate effectively with integrity and fiscal responsibility. And Charles Kamick, Chief Operations Officer, is here for any questions that we may have. So do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Thanks, Ann.
Second.
Thanks, Raleigh. All right. Any questions for Mr. Kamick?
So Charles, this is a 2-year agreement?
Yes, it's a 2-year agreement for the administrative fees and a 1-year agreement for the reinsurance.
Okay. Well, I would personally hope that this is the last agreement with Anthem and Fort Wayne Community Schools. And I know that you have been looking at other options, and I think the time is ripe. It looks like Community Health Systems has come off its deathbed and posted some positive third quarter numbers, and IU Health is building space to serve patients in our area. And we have old reliable Parkview sitting up there on the top of the hill. And I just think that there is a real opportunity to use this 2-year term to explore those. And I know you have been doing that, and I would continue to urge that exploration. I know that there's been some talk of Fort Wayne leading a group of non-governmental organizations to form a new buying group. And if that's favorable and advantageous to us, I would encourage that. But I think we've got 3 hungry hospital systems that would love our business, and full speed ahead. So best wishes to you over the next 2 years and taking a good hard look at that.
Will do.
Any other questions for Mr. Kamick? All right. All those in favor of voting aye, and Ann?
I'll leave. Thank you.
Yeah.
Steve?
Aye.
Vote. Glenna?
Aye.
Raleigh?
Aye.
I vote aye. And Maria?
Aye. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Passes. And then next up, we have the Lindley Elementary School renovation. Raleigh, you're going to take that one?
Yes.
Thank
It is
you.
recommended that the board approve the following construction contracts for the renovation of Lindley Elementary School. Schenkel Construction, Inc. has a base bid for the renovation of $4,734,600. There are 8 alternate projects for a total contract of $5,032,000. Automated Logic has a controls base bid for the renovation. Total contract amount is $204,050. Related information includes the project consists of architectural, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical renovations to Lindley Elementary School. The existing building automation systems or controls are proprietary, and Automated Logic is the single source vendor for this work. The project was designed by the Moac Park Group, Inc. Funding for the project will be from a combination of the 2016 School Building Basic Renewal, Restoration, and Safety Project and Nutrition Services funds. The work will be completed in phases and is anticipated to be substantially completed by July 21st, 2022. Questions will be addressed by Director of Facilities, Darren Hess.
All Sorry. Thank you, Raleigh. Do we have a motion and a second on this item?
Move for approval.
Thank you, Glenna.
Second.
Thanks, Anne. All right, so Darren is here if we have any questions.
Darren, one of the questions that I had was about the different alternate projects that are listed. What are the alternate projects? I'm sorry?
So in construction projects, we take alternates. For an example, alternate 3A and 3B are two different types of wheelchair platform lifts. So it gives us an option of a Cadillac versus a Chevy situation. And the other alternates are an opportunity for budget control. So we have a base bid, and the base bid that we accept has to be within our budget. And we provide part of the work as alternates, and they bid that work as alternate work to add on to the base bid so that we can hit that budget. And it also gives us an opportunity to deduct it if we need to.
So the base bid doesn't include any of the alternate projects?
Correct. The base bid, as listed for the $4,734,600, is a defined scope of work for the renovation. And each of those alternates that we're asking to be accepted tonight add to that scope or adding to the scope with an alternate lift.
Okay.
Any other questions for Darren? Okay. Anne, you can do your job.
Okay. Steve, how do you vote?
Aye. Yes.
Glenna?
Aye.
Raleigh?
Aye.
Aye for me. Maria?
Aye. Thank you very much. That passes. All right, next up we have the Northrop High School West Site Improvement Project. Anne's going to take that one.
It is recommended that the board approve the following construction contract for the 2021 site improvements project at Northrop High School. The base bid for this is $1,015,000. Alternate 1 includes a baseball field sub-drainage, and alternate 2 includes additional concrete work on the west of the stadium for a total of $1,090,900.
Okay. Great. Thank you. And Darren's here to answer any questions. So do we have a motion and a second?
Move approval.
Thanks, Steve.
Second.
Thanks, Anne. Okay. Darren, was this always in the plan?
Yes, the stadium work, the building renovation has always been part of the plan. This was an additional opportunity to do more work at the stadium where, again, we were talking about base bid. We took an alternate for fencing, for example, in the base bid, but it's been long enough since we bid that 4 years ago. This is a new scope. We added some ADA issues into it as well that we have found.
Oh, okay, great, awesome, cool. Okay. Any other questions for Darren regarding the Northrop project? All right, all those in favor of voting aye, I'll let Anne go.
Steve?
Aye.
Glenna?
Aye.
Raleigh?
Aye.
Aye for me. Maria?
Aye. All right, that passes. Thank you. And then Glenna has the next agenda item, which is purchase of workforce software SaaS services.
So it is recommended that the board approve the purchase of workforce software SaaS services from Workforce Software LLC of Livonia, Michigan for $450,000. Workforce is the time management software used by FWCS to report and track employee work, time, and leave. In order to facilitate product maintenance and updates, FWCS is moving to a software as a service, SaaS, model, replacing its current self-hosted model. The purchase is a 5-year contract that will be paid in annual installments of $90,000 from the operations fund. This addresses goal 3, operate with integrity and fiscal responsibility. Questions will be answered by Director of Technology, Jack Bird.
Awesome. Thanks, Glenna. Is there a motion and a second?
I move.
Thanks, Raleigh.
Second.
Thanks, Glenna. Any questions for Jack Bird? Hi, Jack.
Hi, how are
Jack,
you?
can you walk us through this? What's our current system like? It says self-hosted, and what is the new system going to do? Is it going to require fewer people or no people to log this data?
Well, it's just a matter of where the software it resides. So right now, the software runs on our servers at Fort Wayne Community Schools down in the data center. What we're doing is we're moving the operations to Workforce. That way it's a very complicated system, our time management system, because of the complexity of Fort Wayne Community Schools payroll. And so the maintenance of that system would be better served at their site. That way they have more immediate access to things. And as we're moving to the FMLA leave tracking, keeping those regulations updated is very, very important. And so they're able to do that in a more timely and efficient manner.
So with the current system, if we have a problem, how do we fix it? Does somebody have to come here, physically come to Fort Wayne?
No. Right now, of course, you always turn it back. You turn it off and turn it back on again. But if that doesn't work, they can remote into our system. However, even with the remoting in and the applying of software or doing any sort of diagnostic work, they can bring much more resources to bear if it's at their site.
We're going to see more of this go that way too. Same
cloud computing,
offsite.
yes, is really now where the industry is going, and we're going to see more and more of this.
I first looked at this number, but that's a 5-year contract, right?
That is correct.
Okay. There were no other bidders on a similar type system?
Well, Workforce, we bought the Workforce system 7 years ago.
Okay.
So we've been operating this system. And so we're implementing the final phase right now, the FMLA tracking. And once that's in, that's when we want to move over to having them host it, because now our system is configured, it's settled in. Now we want them to maintain that.
Is there less employee intervention either on the IT or HR side with this new approach?
With the SAAS, there is less intervention on FWCS's part. So now we will have basically one analyst that will be responsible for, the operation to ensure that things are still, being calculated correctly. If there's any issues or any questions, there will be no technical staff necessary, to maintain the server or the database or anything like that. Okay.
Thank you.
And with the move to this, is this something that Workforce will then do upgrades? Are they in charge of that process then?
Yes, they will do the upgrades, any database performance monitoring or maintenance, they will do that.
Okay. And do they allow the users to do testing in like a beta site then to make sure that everything is working the way that they think it should?
Yes, and that's very important. And yeah, we will have, and we have that now. We have two sites we have a test site and we have a production site. We will maintain that when we go to the SAS model.
Great. Okay. All right. Any other questions for Jack?
I have a question. So
Yep.
it's the $90,000 annual installments. What's the difference in price from what they were providing now that you're adding the FMLA and them hosting the site? What's the difference in the investment?
The difference is approximately $30,000 a year.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. All those in favor of voting aye, and we'll call your name.
Steve,
Aye.
Glenna,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
aye for me, Maria.
Aye. All right, that passes. So next up on the agenda is Wayne High School Stadium waterproofing and restoration. And Steve, are you okay to take that?
I think I am.
Okay.
Okay, the next recommendation for us is some work at the Wayne High School football stadium, and I guess it's track too. It's recommended that the board approve the following construction contract for the 2021 stadium waterproofing and restoration project at Wayne High School. The bid before us is from Buckeye Construction and Restoration, and the base bid is $598,477. This project consists of joint sealant repairs, replacements, protection, waterproofing, selective precast concrete repairs, new handrails, selective concrete flatwork replacement, and waterproofing of the existing stadium structure. Project architect was Martin Riley. Funding will be from our school building basic renewal, restoration, and safety project. And this work is going to begin at the end of this current school year and should be done this summer. So all the work is going to start and end next summer. And Darren is still with us to answer any of our questions.
Great. Thank you. Steve, is there a motion and a second for this item?
Move for approval.
Thanks,
Second.
Glenna. Thanks, Steve. All right. Questions for Darren?
Darren, have we done any work to the stadium in the past 10 years?
Yeah, I did that about 17 years ago, I believe. It was 2003 or 2004 was the last time we did sealant replacements at the stadiums, both Northrop and Wayne.
There's no plaques for Charles Kamak's ventures on the track, his days of was it high hurdle or low hurdle?
Just seen the one inside the building.
Okay.
That's awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions for Darren? All right. Okay. All those who would like to vote in favor of this project, and we'll call your name.
Steve,
Aye.
Glenna,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
aye for me, Maria.
Aye. All right. So that brings us to the Waynedale Elementary School renovation. And I am going to read that one. So it's recommended that the board approve the following construction contracts for the renovation of the Waynedale Elementary School. And that bid goes to Hamilton Hunter Builders, Inc., with a base bid of $4,735,000. There is 6 alternates for a grand total contract of $4,948,400. And then there's the contract to Automated Logic for controls base bid in the amount of $222,285. $222,285. Sorry. The project consists of architectural, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical renovations to Waynegale Elementary School. The existing building automation systems controls are proprietary, and Automated Logic is the single source vendor for this work. The project was designed by the Moac Park Group, Inc. Funding for the project will be from a combination of the 2016 School Building Basic Renewal, Restoration, and Safety Project and Nutrition Services Funds. The work will be completed in phases and is anticipated to be substantially completed by July 21st of 2022. And Darren is still here to answer any questions that we have. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Thanks, Steve.
Second.
Thanks, Glenna.
No question for Darren, but I'm looking at the 5 bids and 4 of them were very, very competitive. So that's always good to see when we've got our local firms really going hard and sharpening that pencil on this on their number.
Hey, Darren, is it any coincidence that Waynegale and Lindley are being renovated at the same time? Because aren't they kind of sister schools in terms of layouts or floor plans?
Yes, they're both sister schools, and also the condition of them at the time, since they were built at the same time, the condition scores were relatively the same. So they are number 19 and 20.
Okay. And if I remember correctly, it's a little bit more difficult for that secure vestibule in the front. I mean, it requires a little bit more construction.
Correct. Actually, for both of them, we're going to be flip-flopping the media center with the offices. So when you first come in, you'll go to the right where the old media center is. We'll start that work this Christmas.
Okay, cool. And so both schools will get completely new media centers then?
Correct.
That's awesome. That's exciting. Great. All right. Any other questions for Darren? All right. All those in favor of voting aye, and we'll call your name.
Steve.
Aye.
Glenna.
Aye.
Raleigh.
Aye.
Aye for me. Maria.
Aye. All right. So that that also passes. And that brings us to the end of our new business. And we have no reports or information. Our next regularly scheduled board meeting will be Monday, December 14th. And just a reminder, board members, that that's our only meeting in December. Besides the other stuff, the official scheduled board meeting, we do have the executive session on the 2nd. So just a reminder for those. So now we are to board member comments. And Steve, I guess we'll start with you.
Sure. Thank you. I had a conversation with one of the parents in my district about all that is happening. And I know that the superintendent may have more to share, but the questions that I had from this parent is based on her family's forthcoming decision on what they're going to do for the 2nd semester. I think currently they are sending their children to school, but wanted to know if we have data available to parents that show trend rate information, so that what was going on in this particular school during the first week of a certain month, second week, third month, so that this parent can try to figure out if there is a growing problem in that school and how that information might skew their decision one way or the other. So that was the question. If we're, I know we report it to the state, but is there any place that we then take that data might be a nice project for kids in a math class to show that trend data on a weekly basis. And if I just don't know the answer to that. The second part of that, and I'll just ask it now, is we're all pretty excited about the news that's coming out on a national level with respect to all of the big pharma firms announcing positive results from their tests, and that we could see vaccines available on a rolling basis beginning in December. I know that from what I've heard, it may be months before we actually see it at our level. But the thought was, again, this is a hypothetical situation. If it's rolled out, might there be an opportunity for the district to institute a schedule where all students would return to our building? So I would ask the questions and let the experts from superintendent's team respond to those. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Steve. Charles, you want to take this one? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding you. This is a pretty complex question. I'll tell you, yes, there is data that's collected for each of our schools. We have elected to share that with the Indiana Health Department. There are some uniqueness about that data. If you see something less than 5, and it will go by student as well as staff members, that means total has been less than 5 as far as positive COVID. If it's greater than 5, it will give the exact number. So you'll be able to see the exact number if it's greater than 5. I haven't looked at that just recently, but most of our schools, except for a couple of our high schools, have been less than 5. High schools, because of co-curriculars, they tend to jump a little higher because it impacts, again, a whole team, a whole squad, that sort of thing. So we can always look into that. We have posted that on the website for people to see. And again, less than 5, I would feel comfortable. Less than 5, if you start to see that ticking up, then there might be something happening within that community. Of course, we know Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Major family gatherings, and as family gatherings happen, and I know we're going to have students from universities return and all those various things, it is important to, again, do your very best with social distancing and so forth. That's part of the reason why we went to the high school remote only phenomenon with a week after the holiday, because usually it manifests itself 3 to 4 days. And we're hoping to be able to look at that trend to see if there are numbers, and those numbers are provided to us. And again, we're so very fortunate to have Director of Health and Wellness and Mary Hess. So Steve, I'll look into individual buildings to see if that's a number we can show longitudinally, what's happening over a course of time. I'll see if Mary can find that. I do know that she keeps track of every single case as well as every single quarantine case. So she has that in a chart form. So we'll see if she can get it to manifest itself in a longitudinal piece. In regards to returning all students, I've always been an advocate, the best place for kids to be are in schools. So if there's any way that we can possibly make that happen, say, and we'll just play scenarios here. A scenario is, yes, vaccines are available. Yes, we have a majority of students who've actually had the vaccine, and that happens, say, after or during the third quarter of the year. It would be feasible for us to move into a fourth quarter scenario. Although the experts I've spoken to say probably not going to happen. The vaccine will not be available. So if I'm a parent, and I'll speak as a parent, I would assume that that's not going to happen. So your decision should be based on what things are currently. And I know that's not doesn't give us comfort, but at the same time, realistically, I don't think we're going to see that.
I was on a call, a Zoom call with some other youth serving organizations Friday. Dr. Faye Williams-Robbins was hosting that meeting, and she had invited the health commissioner, Dr. Sutter, on. And one of the things he said, and I think it's been said in our group here, is that our schools are probably one of the safest places in the community with respect to infection rates. And so, I mean, that may come as a surprise, but I know that he says he has the data to back it up to prove that. Although I know that after we had that warm spell a couple of weeks ago, I know that our numbers the following Monday spiked because everybody was enjoying themselves and probably a little too closely together. But it didn't happen in our schools. It happened more than likely over the weekend.
Right. And that sort of lends me to what happened today, and if I may speak to that. Again, what is happening, and this is across all districts, it's not the student population that's seeing itself removed, that's impacting the learning in the buildings. It would be our adults. And it just happens. It's not to blame anyone. It's just, it is what it is. And as such, we have really, truly stretched our substitutes. For instance, today being the first day we went full remote with high school students, that afforded us to move those substitutes to the middle schools, and hopefully some of the middle school substitutes to the elementary schools. And the numbers were much better today from that standpoint, as far as being able to cover classrooms. On a daily basis, we'll have approximately 48 to 52% of our classrooms are not covered by substitutes because we just don't have them. So what building principals do and what teachers do, they perform almost a magic, and they find coverage and they work to make that happen. So the system has been stressed, but today it finally hit our transportation department. And our transportation department, overwhelmingly now, they've been either exposed or in quarantine, or perhaps have some positive cases, which has literally caused us to put the brakes on, if you will, put the brakes on regards to our being able to pick up, transport our students to and from school. So therefore, the decision for the next 2 days, and I believe we're going for a day after the holidays to see, gives us a chance to, again, hopefully our drivers, and this is dispatchers, drivers, all of us, will give us a time to recover and be back at it again as soon as possible. But not something, of course, we like to do. I like the analogy. It's sort of like weather, very, very bad weather, when we don't know what's going to come, but we have to do something. And so we said we cannot have school as it is in K through 8. And so students today went home with all the remote devices, and they'll be going from home now for the next several days. So again, not something we had planned on doing, but it was one of those emergency things. And again, it is our position, we need to transport students to school. If we cannot do that, then we can't have school as normal. We can have school remotely though. So if any of you have received those questions, I know Angie has supplied us with some talking points, and I appreciate that.
Steve, did you have any other comments?
No, I did. Thank you.
Yeah. Lena? You're on mute.
Okay, just want to wish everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving and look forward
Thank
to
you.
being back next month. I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glenna. All right, Anne?
I just wanted to thank our parents for being understanding of, what we're doing right now. Like Dr. Daniel said, in our schools is the best thing for our kids, but that is not always going to happen. So thank you, parents, for making the best of the situation. Thank you, teachers, for your flexibility and your understanding. Thank you, Dr. Daniel, for always being open and honest about what's going on with our schools, the transparency. I really, really appreciate that. It's, I think you've done an excellent job in the conditions we have. I last spring when we hired you, I certainly wasn't expecting this. I was being optimistic this will all be over, but obviously it's not. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving, a safe holiday. I know it's going to be different for many of us, but hope it's the best for everybody.
Thanks, Anne. Raleigh?
So a lot of parents are being really flexible with everything that's going on. But for a lot of parents, it's really, really, really difficult. And I just want to speak to that and ask, with the text message and the decision that was made for transportation, based on transportation and the schools, the kids not going in schools for the rest of the week. What do you say to those parents who this caught completely off guard with, scrambling to make this happen with, with work and everything else and trying to figure out what to do with their kids? It was so last minute. How do they know? How soon will they know whether or not the kids will return to school on Tuesday? What kind of notice can you give, especially if what's happening, and you discussed this, is that it's the adults that are getting taken out, or, having to stay at home and things like that. And there's a certain period of time that they have to stay based on that knowledge. Can you really say that they'll be able to return to school on Tuesday?
No, I can't say that positively. I can only say that we'll look at the information that we receive on Monday. That information will be, have our bus drivers had enough time to recuperate? And many of them are in that window where if they can steadily recover, they'll be back. But again, that's conditional. That's based on whether or not, are they a 10-day isolation or are they a 14-day quarantine? And those are two different things. So if I have COVID, it's 10 days, as long as I don't show symptoms. And that's the unknown. Therefore, we can't say. And yes, this is that's why I sort of made the analogy to, we just were dumped about 6 feet of snow just hit us, except it wasn't snow, it was COVID rain. And we're having to deal with it. But as you said, our parents are truly, truly struggling, trying to figure out how to manage this. I will also say our teachers are struggling mightily as well. And so it's just all over. Everyone's carrying this burden, and there's not a good answer, Raleigh. There really is not a good answer, but we'll do our best. I'm sure Charles will be talking with me Sunday evening. Where are we with this? Can we move forward, Charles? Can we not move forward? It's truly decimated our transportation department. So the goal is not to prolong this any more than what we have to. There are roughly, we're till December 17th. Until December 17th, that means the end of the first semester. So if we can get to December 17th, that's really been the goal. But I'll tell you, the teachers have been fighting an unbelievable battle to stay there, to stay in the classroom, to handle if you will, the stress that they've been experiencing as well. And it's just been one heck of a semester. So as I've said, I can't wait till 2020 is now gone. So we'll celebrate mightily on July 1st, 2021, but that doesn't again really answer your question, because I just can't. I can't until Charles and I have that opportunity to sit down Sunday prior to the Monday return.
Is there any possibility that we could have enough bus drivers where we could have elementary go, but middle school stay home? Since elementary is obviously the most difficult as far as childcare and that type of thing.
I'll defer to Charles with that one. Charles, could you speak to that?
Yeah, I think Dr. Daniel stated it well. I don't know. We part of our problem is drivers, and a large part of it is dispatch, the people who manage the transportation process. We wiped out that whole department. So the people that would have to reconfigure the routes are the ones who are desperately ill. And I can tell you that it was a very difficult conversation I had with Frank Jackson, because he did not want to do this, but he just doesn't have the staff right now to put the wheels on the wagon. But as Dr. Daniel said, we will be talking Sunday evening and probably early Monday morning, because we do want to communicate with parents as quickly as we can.
Thank you. Raleigh, did you have any additional comments tonight? No? Okay. All right. Dr. Daniels, did you have any comments for this evening?
I do not. I repeat much of what's been said. It is Thanksgiving holiday, and there's always something to be appreciative of, and hopefully we can focus on something positive. It'll be very different Thanksgiving. We won't be having Thanksgiving with our family this particular time, but at the same moment, we can still share via Zoom and so forth. So just very different.
Dr. Daniel, I did have a question about the staying home. Do our teachers have the option? Will they be going to the buildings, or can they, if they have elementary age kids, will they be able to stay home with them?
So we've tried to hold to that rule of treat it like a snow day. You come to work if you can. There might be some that are exceptions. They need to work that through with their building principal, but we have pretty much held the line. You do need to come to school. And we will most likely hold that course unless, again, we have many teachers that are quarantined as well, and they need to teach remote. We do have that option. Excuse me, we do have that option. We do have a document that's been prepared that asks for a business-like setting at home. And that's from the private sector. We just adopted it for us. So we do have an instrument in hand. And so if there are teachers that say are very reluctant or cannot for some reason, and we don't have substitutes and so on and so forth, that is something we would consider, but it would be a rarity, it'd be an exception to the rule.
Question, Ann. Okay. So I do have a couple of comments. I want to remind everyone that we are still accepting applications for the soon to be vacated board seat in District 3. And the date that we need to receive those applications by is Wednesday, November 25th. An application should be submitted to the board president, Julie Hollingsworth, in care of Angela Filler, the clerk of the board, at Fort Wayne Community Schools at the Griles building, which is 1200 South Clinton Street, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46802. Or individuals can email their applications to Angie at angela.filler@fwcs.k12.in.us. To be eligible for the seat, the applicants must be A resident within District 3 for at least 1 calendar year. They must be at least 21 years of age, and they must be a registered voter. If you need a map of the precincts, you can find that at fwcs.info/district map. If employed by FWCS, the applicants must be prepared to resign employment if they are appointed. And there are 2 questions that we ask when you're filling out your application. Question 1 is, what qualifications, background, and skills do you believe you would bring to the board to assist us in reaching the district's mission and vision? And question 2 is, what knowledge and or experience do you have with Fort Wayne Community Schools? And so again, those applications need to be received by this Wednesday, November 25th. Like others have mentioned, I just want to say thank you to our parents for being flexible. I know that that is probably a lot to juggle. I hope that employers in Fort Wayne are being flexible with our parents. I know that this isn't an easy thing for anyone. And hearts go out to teachers. I know tomorrow some teachers are going to start teaching and they're going to be at home with their kids. And I can only imagine what that's going to be like. So hugs to everyone for tomorrow. And my heart does go out to Frank Jackson and the whole transportation staff. Thoughts and prayers for everybody. I hope everyone comes through and we're ready to go. They carry very precious cargo every day. So I wish them all well so that they can get back to us. And lastly, I just wanted to ask, and I know that today's decision wasn't made lightly, and I know that we are a very large district, and so there's lots of moving pieces, but just wanted to address food at all. I didn't know if, if students are within walking distance of a school, are they able to go and pick up food at an entrance like we did when we were closed down, or is that just completely off the table because of there are too many variables to line that all up?
Yeah, I'll let Kathy address that. Kathy,
Okay.
Could you speak to that, please?
Sure. We are, this is a miracle. I think that we're going to be able to pull this off, but what we're going to do is add to our Tuesday night pickups.
Oh,
and
wow.
So individuals who are remote only have an assigned high school that they go to, and they will continue to do that. Anybody else who has shifted now to remote can choose any high school and go pick up. Now, it will be based on a first come, first serve basis because we don't know exactly how many people to expect that will come pick up. So the hours are Tuesday night from 5 to 6 p.m. And so that would be any high school. But we do ask those that have already signed up at a particular high school as a remote only student, please go to that high school. And then the remainder can go to any high school during that time.
Oh my goodness, that's so great, Kathy. I can't believe we pulled that together. Thank you to everybody who.
Candace Hager and her staff. I'm super impressed that they're able to get this pulled off. So thank them. Yeah,
That's great.
They have been miracle workers throughout this whole situation.
How is that information being shared? Is it being text, email, Facebook? How would families know about that?
In the information that Krista sent out, the flyers that went to each level, there is a section in there about meals, and
Okay.
it explains that in there.
Okay, good.
Cool. Great. Awesome.
Maria,
Thank you. Yeah.
for the board position, we don't have a formal application.
That's
Correct.
it.
So they just need to send in a cover letter that answers those 2 questions and perhaps a resume.
Yes. Thank you for that clarification. Yes. Answer those 2 questions and include your resume is probably the best. Yeah. Yep. Other thoughts, comments? Again, Kathy and all of Nutrition Services, thank you so much. That is so great That wasn't the answer that I was expecting, but my goodness, we are miracle workers. So yay, way to go team. Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move for adjournment.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. All those in favor of adjourning, Anne, would you like to roll call?
Oh, Steve,
Aye.
Lena,
Aye.
Raleigh,
Aye.
aye from me, Maria.
Aye. All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Be safe. Thank you very much.